Two more minutes and then we'll start. By the way, guys, we will be doing a 50-minute session today, and this is going to be about Pixies and Reflect, which is going to be the native files that we are going to use with, Revit, SketchUp, Rhino, what else? ArchiCAD is going to come, but it's still not there yet. And then we can also use like native files like Inventor, Fusion, what else? Alias, Red, many CAD engine files actually. So I'm going to show you importing of these stuff to Unity so we can use those. All right, guys. Remember, this is being recorded, so you are going to reach for it later as well. All the recordings are on my YouTube channel, which you can find it from. Just a sec. Let me put this into the chat. We can show you, which you can find it here. Okay. All right, so Let's start today's session. So in the previous sessions and the first session, we have learned about how to start Unity, use Unity with shortcuts, learned about primitives in Unity, some physics in Unity, not much, but obviously like teaching you guys everything, it would take a very, very long time, to be honest. So I'm like briefly explaining everything to you guys. Yesterday, we have learned about importing stuff into Unity, like 3D models. And we've used an FBX file. So you can basically import natively an FBX file and an OBJ file as 3D formats. Today, though, I'm going to show you how you can import files that is not FBX. That could be Revit files, that could be SketchUp files, that could be any CAD file. And let me actually start reading this through to you so you can understand what you can natively get into Unity, right? One of the products that we are going to use is called Pixies. Pixies is acquired by Unity, and it's one of my go-to software when I'm working. So you can also see it here, Pixies. Basically, what Pixies does, I'm going to show you from the documentation. We have the ability to import any CAD document, almost any CAD document. And it has different functionality, and you can also use Pixies as a software in various different ways. Today, though, I'm going to use the plugin version. So let me show you what it does actually. Basically, it helps us import models, and it can import. Let me see this. Not licensing, compatibility, supported formats. There you go. So here's the entire format list for Pixies plugin, so that you can use. And remember, I told you yesterday, Pixies can only be used on a Windows computer. And it's recommended that if you're using an NVIDIA GPU, it's better. So you can import a PXZ file, which is a Pixies format itself, 3ds file, SAT file, and then DWG-DXF. These are either 3D or 2D versions, doesn't matter. Wire file, which is an alias, FBX. You don't necessarily need to import an FBX file directly from Unity importer. Generally speaking, when I'm using Pixies, I don't ever touch Unity's own importer because this is a bit superior. Inventor, which is good. Revit, as you can see. Recap, Red, CATIA files, Collada. Collada can come from SketchUp. GLTF, IFC format, IGS, JT, OBJ, Parasolid, Rhino, SketchUp, SolidWorks, Step. So these are like almost all the files that you can find, USD as well, on the world. Like you can basically use all these formats in Unity if you have Pixies, which is pretty nice. This eliminates the need for you to interchange a format into FBX. Like you don't necessarily need to lose any metadata because, for example, if you have a Revit file, you probably will try to get the metadata from Revit, like maybe the wall dimensions, or maybe the manufacturer that you're buying the product from, so on and so forth. So you can bring in your custom data as well as the metadata from the native file. That's the important part when we are importing these files, because we might be able to use those data, right? We might be wanting to use those data. That's probably one of the better stuff about using these type of extensions. So if I want to bring in the metadata from another file with Pixies, first off, I have two options. Actually, I have a lot of options, but like I said, I'm going to show you the Pixies plugin. The plugin comes as a Unity package. Once you download it, so you can basically download it, like I said, from here. Once you download this, you need to have a 7 days trial, like I told you yesterday. Once you download this, it is just a Unity package. It's just a file, and you can get this package in the assets, import package, custom package. Then go to your downloaded area, and then you can find it over here. Pixies plugin for Unity, yada, yada, yada. Say open. It's practically a zip file, by the way. A Unity package is practically a zip file. It's a zipped file. So yeah, we call it Unity package, but once you're inside the Unity editor actually understands that this is a Unity package. So it actually first it prepares the package. So it's de-zipping. It's not de-zipping, it's unzipping the file so that we can see what's happening. And this is a very common thing, by the way, when you're using a package, very, very common thing. What happens is that you can see all the files that is inside this package. You don't necessarily need to do anything here. You just need to say import, because this is a third-party software, okay? So we're getting it in, and we are going to start using it. This is a very common practice between, very different packages. It might also say script updating consent. Some of the project source files refer to the API that has changed. This could happen when you're using different versions of Unity. This can be automatically updated. Do you want to be updating it? For example, it says the texture scalar CS is different. Do you want to update these? You can say yes for these and other files that might be found later, or yes, just for these files. I'll just go with the first option. And then it's going to import everything. And then afterwards, if everything goes correctly, we are going to have this Pixies tab on top. So I'm going to show you first the, what's it called? I'm going to show you first the method that we can use to grab native files. Like I'm going to download Autodesk Revit sample file, project, whatever. If you write this down on Google, it doesn't have to be a Revit file, by the way, obviously. It could be a SketchUp file, like I told you, different files. So if you have any type of files that you have on your computer, just use it. You don't have to download anything. I can go for one of the files over here. So for example, let me go with the Dach sample, or you can go and download any structural or whatever sample you want to work on. These are, these are open for you to download because these are just sample files. Okay, this is not helping me to download it. Okay, this is not downloadable, it seems, but this is downloadable. So I downloaded the first one, basic sample project. So here is the file that I've downloaded. Okay. Once you have the Pixies downloaded and you have a file to import, like I showed you before, the list is quite long. Where was it? Yeah, here. The list is quite long. Just pick anything you like over here, right? You probably have a file to work on. You're gonna go to Pixies tab, and so you can then say import model. Then you can basically select the model. And so I'm gonna select the model that I've just downloaded, which is an 18 megabyte file. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm gonna say, please open this. So it's gonna start reading it. I'm not gonna download the new one, so I'm gonna say later. So it's gonna tell me some stuff here. This is the import options for Pixies. It's not the import options for Unity. So you are going to see a couple more options here, like import metadata from imported model, only available for Phi. Model has metadata, no processing is applied on the hierarchy. Basically, if you're going to do any processing on the data, importing the metadata is not going to work. The processing it relates to is something like this. For example, the transforms, the hierarchy, can be brought in with merge functions. So let's say you have a couple of walls, right? And you have like a wall, a couple of walls, your roof, your floorings, etc. And you're using, for example, same material on the walls. You have the ability to merge them together in meshes while you're importing. You can also like merge everything on the final level or merge by hierarchy level. You can merge by name if they have like very similar names, like wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, wall 4. Merge them all. You can merge by regions. You can also clean up intermediary nodes or transfer everything under a root. Transfer everything under a root just breaks up every hierarchy. So everything becomes one level hierarchy. So if you're not doing any changes here, the metadata is going to be imported correctly. Otherwise, it might not. You can import lines if, of course, you have some model lines like DWG lines, etc. You can import the points, vertex points, that is. These could be extra import. The scale is obviously the same with the other scale. It's important. You can also manually orientate or automatically orientate this. This is for the reason where you're creating the file, right? For example, Revit uses a universal coordinate system. SolidWorks uses another universal coordinate system. Max is using another coordinate system. File UCS comparison. Probably we can find the picture about this. File coordinate system comparison. Maybe we can type 3D file coordinate system comparison. Yeah, okay, so this one, right? So for example, Maya, Godot, Substance Painter, Houdini uses YAP. Max, Blender, CryEngine, SketchUp uses ZUp, but right-handed Z. And left-handed Z, Unity, Cinema 4D, ZBrush, Lightwave, and left-handed left-handed YUp is Unity. Left-handed ZUp is Unreal. So, different 3D software uses different source. These are not CAD engines, by the way. These are just geometry creating engines, mesh engines generally. So obviously, the CAD engines also have these differences. You can reorient the faces. Sometimes orientation of the faces do not come in a better way. What happens when you don't have orientation? Let's say this is a 3D object that I have, right? and I'm seeing the faces because the front faces are being rendered, but the back, you don't see it. So if you remember from yesterday's lesson, when we create a quad, one side is not being rendered because the material is one-sided. And you can change the face orientation from one side to the other. This is called the normal side of the face. So you can change the normal side of the face there by reorienting. You can reorient later also. Create LODs. This might take some time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with a level of detail concept. Let me actually also show you what it means, level of detail. This is not the level of detail in Revit or BIM. This is the level of detail of a model, geometry. Let me actually find something. So yeah, so this is about a house, for example, but this is more relevant to the 3D geometry. So the triangle count becomes less and less, but obviously the geometry becomes terrible when you're going to the low polygonal model. The reason being is that if your camera is nearby to this rabbit, you're expecting it to, you're expecting it to be seeming better rather than seeming terrible, right? So what we do is we use these level of detail systems. As your camera is approaching to the 3D model, you prefer showing a better version of the rabbit to the audience. And obviously this comes with a cost because this is 70,000 triangles. As your camera is moving away from the rabbit, what we do is we change the geometry dynamically. We say, hey, let's use the low resolution one now, or lower resolution, or if the camera is like too far away, just use 76 triangles because no one's gonna notice if you're using the high triangle version because the camera is too far away. So this is a level of detail concept. If you say create LODs, so it creates automatic LODs because this is highly, highly, highly used. Like LODs, you guys are going to also use it in real-time rendering engines like Unity. Mesh quality, you can automatically set some presets here. Maximum, the mesh quality is gonna come as is, as the solid model. But if you say, I want to get a very, very poor quality of meshes so that the triangle count gets lowered, but your geometry gets worse as well. So think about this. When you get a file from an outside source, let's check this one actually, right? This one that we worked yesterday. We can check how many triangles it has. Obviously one by one because it has a lot of different meshes here. We can, though, what can I say? We can estimate it, guess it, by just looking from the game view. So if we go to the game view, so stats, we have around 5.9 million triangles. That's a lot of triangles. Especially in real-time rendering, it's a lot. So we have a lot actually. Let's check one of the stuff here. For example, not the anglefish, but maybe the walls. So yeah, Muro Ventana, the wall. We can go to the mesh itself. This wall doesn't have many vertices because it's not a complex object, you see? 133 vertices, 74 triangles. We probably have more complexity on the sofa, for example. Let's see. So yeah, the sofa is 65,000 vertices, 120,000 triangles. That's too much for a sofa, right? That is too much. We have to like, especially if you're going to create a virtual reality experience, for a device like Quest 2, for example, we shouldn't go above 1 million polygons total in one time. This is like 12% of the budget just by rendering this image, this 3D model. So it's a lot. What Pixies tries to do, it removes the need. It removes the need for using high amount of polygons. The mesh quality here automatically reduces the polygon count. Anyway, I won't go more in details. I'm just going to say import. And this is going to create, oh, just a sec. What's going on? It might be that this version is not applicable. Just a sec. I'm going to download a new one as well while we're waiting. Okay, that's a bit odd. I'm downloading the newer version. It might be that since we're using 2021, it might not be maybe working correctly in 2021. I hardly believe that's the case, but yeah, I'll check it out now. So let's go with the newer version. Let's see. Yeah, so it's untested. Let me check the compatibility. 2020 is compatible with this one. Maybe we'll try it out. We'll try the new one. Sometimes it forces you to use some of the Unity versions. So this might be the thing. We have to like maybe use some of the Unity versions. I can just show you if this is the case. I can just show you from 2020.3 version because I also have that. Okay. I'll just create a new project in 2020.3. Okay, is that's interesting. I don't have it. Anyway, I'll just create another one here with a new one. So I'll create a new project, empty one, and then import the new Pixies plugin to it. Still creating it. So gonna import the newly downloaded package here. Okay, let's try this out over here now. All right, still the same problem we're facing. Just a sec, guys. So yeah, what's happening is because the version of the Pixies isn't really tested on the newer version of Unity, which is kind of what we're facing here. Just a sec. So we don't have 2020, but we have 2019. So I'm gonna create another one in 2019 then. Close this. While I'm doing that, I'm also gonna show a tiny bit about the Unity Reflect, which is a bit different. I'm not sure if you have downloaded Unity Reflect, but let me show you what it looks like first. Unity Reflect is another plugin, guys. Actually, it's not a plugin. It has a plugin. It is an executable. And this is a very interesting area. You can basically upload your Revit, SketchUp, Rhino, BIM 360, Navisworks files automatically from the software. So if you're using Revit, it gets as a third party on Revit. If I have it, I'm going to show you also. Probably I do. So you can basically select your native file inside Revit, inside SketchUp, inside Rhino, inside BIM 360, Navisworks, and send it to Unity. And here's the output, right? You can just double click. These are all the stuff that I've sent before. Most of them are in the cloud, by the way. You have the ability to send these into your own local area network or onto your computer. And this is the result. So this is one of the files that we have sent before. Just a sec, my Autodesk account is not reading my license. Okay, let me log into my account. Sign this out. And yeah. So this program, guys, as you can see, gets your model directly into the Unity engine without you changing your file to FBX. And you can do a lot of different stuff. Look what we can do. Let me actually show you. Okay, the Revit is now gonna open. So here we have a user interface. This is a very, very simple program, but it's 100% can be changed. We have this BIM information area where we can select a part in the model. So I select the wall, for example. You can see all the file metadata over here. You can see that the length is this one, the area is that, volume is that. All the data could be used for our own applications. This entire thing can be changed to your liking. You can do anything with it. Like you can create your own software, sell it. You can create your own software, use it. You can just create animations. You can create, for example, a 4D animation with time, etc. Anything is possible, basically. I can select the railings, for example, and I can get the top rails, rectangular apartment building, yada, yada, yada. I can select the doors, door family. Basically, you can see anything over here, which is quite nice. What else can we do? This is the BIM information, and it could be filtered. Could be like dimension filters, identity data, all information could be filtered. We also have filters. Just use paths, just show walls, or close all the walls, open all the walls, right? Top rails, floors, roofs, furniture. You can go with the families, you can go with the manufacturer, like sidescapes, whatever. You can basically filter out everything. And here is some nice stuff about the items that you're going for. So let's say you want to see your model. You want to see your model in your augmented reality area. This application can be downloaded into a phone as well. So I also have it on my phone. Android and iPhone, doesn't matter. You can basically put AR markers onto a model. So you can press plus, select an area. Okay, so I selected this area. This means that if I, let's say, my marker, if I create a marker like this over here, now it's saved. Look, I can basically export this as an A4 or an A3, sorry, A5. I can put it on that wall, particular wall, in real life. And my building is going to be reflected from that QR code. So I can basically do some real life comparisons between the real model versus the Revit model. This is a Revit model, that's why I'm talking about the Revit model. I can also do some measurements. This is obviously not highly precise. it's quite precise, but obviously you wouldn't use this for precision, what's it called? Precision calculations. It also does some snapping as well. Like it snaps on the vertex points so that you can basically snap into the corners. You see? It snaps, snaps there, snaps to the corners. So you can easily do some very small dimension changes. You can do time studies. Right, you can change the time of day, time of year, UTC offset, latitude and longitude, and then as well as you can change the north angle. And this automatically changes everything in real time. You can put the light data on, change the quality settings to medium to low. This obviously is for, because this application can work on iPads, Android tablets, iOS, Android. Soon it's going to be on Quest 2 natively. You can use it in Quest 2 anyway, but soon it's going to be natively on Quest 2. PC VR like HTC, Vive, Steam, Valve Index, so on and so forth. Also PC. There's a beta version in Mac. So you can use it anywhere, basically. So that's why we have quality settings, of course. If you're using this on the phone, you cannot go with high quality here, or the shadows. We have also annotations here. We can say, hey, let's actually create an annotation. I'm checking the front porch and this basically door, and I'm saying, I didn't really like the color. Can we change the material? So I can comment on it, and then it gets listed on the annotations. Since this is a cloud build, the other people that can join in can also see this. By the way, if you want to join in this conversation, I can put this link to you, and everything becomes shareable. So you guys can download this application on your phones and then come into this space with your avatar, and we can talk to each other, we can see each other. I can present this thing, so every camera of yours will be matched with my camera, so I can basically explain what is going on with this building while you're following me automatically. So this is like a review program that you can use to get all the native architectural information into Unity. We can also manipulate it through Unity Editor, but that's obviously a bit more. That's obviously a bit more longer. So that's the annotations. Okay, obviously we have some couple of options here. We have the virtual reality option, we have the fly option, and we have the walk option. Let me actually go for the walk option here. So we can start walking. The nice thing about walking, we can jump. If we have a family door, what happens is, look, I cannot enter here through the wall, but if there is a door, I can pass through. This happens automatically, by the way. I didn't do anything with this. So I can basically say, okay, we can go through walls. Well, sorry, we can go through doors, but not walls. So if this is a door, again, going through, going out, going through, going through, going out. The visual fidelity is not the best, of course, but this is because if your Revit model is detailed enough, the visual fidelity is going to go up. If it's not detailed enough, it's going to go down. But this, you know, don't compare this additional elements to, for example, Enscape, because this is an out-of-the-box software, yes, but it is totally customizable. What I mean by customizable is you can get this entire thing into Unity Editor, right, into here, and then start working on it. And then create, like, change everything in this application. You can change the buttons, you can change the visuals, you can create your own materials, you can create your own animations, your own body, your actor system, so on and so forth. Like, it's quite a big software that you can manipulate. The nice thing about this is, obviously, there's a live mode. So if you do some changes from the Revit model, it automatically applies. Let me actually show you. So this, when you download and install it on your computer, it can be installed in Revit like this. So basically, you can say export, and you need to obviously select the 3D view for this. So let's select the approach, for example. Let's say I want to export this file, right? I say, okay, let's sign in. Sure. While I'm doing this, by the way, I'm gonna import, not the new asset package. Gonna import the plugin. Hopefully it will work on this. So, okay, let's go to it. Okay, so let's go to export. We are entering Reflect. So this is where we can see all our files that is uploaded to Reflect. Okay. So these are the cloud files. I can say, hey, let's create a new project, Digital Futures. Create. This creates a project. Then I can export it. So I'm directly exporting my Revit file to cloud as a Revit file, though, not changing it to FBX. Okay, it's done. Let's say I can go back to Unity Reflect Review now. And I can sync. And then there you go. Look, I've put the file onto cloud. Now I can double click to open it. Now it's going to open it up. And now it's going to start downloading the file because, let's say, might take some time. Yeah, so we've started seeing the file. So what happens is it starts downloading the walls, the other stuff, the environment, one by one, and then we have a one-to-one model in Unity side. So this is the Unity viewer, and we have it one-to-one. Let me show you what happens if we change something, right? So let's say I didn't like this one. The space I didn't like where it's sitting, so I want to change the placement of that. So I can go to the living room, right? Select one of the items here. For this, though, I need to open the synchronization. Without the synchronization, this is not going to work in real time. So I'm going to open up the synchronization first. I'm going to say sync. The synchronization is going to open. Then I'm going to open the synchronization here. Okay, now the synchronization is up. The synchronization is also up here. So if I change the placement of this, right, the sync is up. Let's see. Okay, let me check it again. Maybe I have to save it. Save. Right, it doesn't let me save. Let me do another export on it. So basically what I mean by that is whenever you do a change, this is going to be reflected on the model that you run. While that's happening, let me check this side. Let me open and close this synchronization. Seems like something is wrong here. It haven't changed it. Normally it should be doing it. Anyway, like this should be happening normally. Maybe my internet is not doing a good job today. What I mean by that is this: when you have a conversation with the CEO of the company, maybe you're having a conversation with a customer, and they're like telling you, "Hey, can we do some changes in real time?" And the actual architect is working on the Revit model, just does the changes, and immediately the changes reflected upon to the Unity model, so that we can further do some work on the Revit model or on the Unity model. At the moment, it's not doing it. I'm not sure why, but this is how it's happening with Unity Reflect. So this is a great application, guys. Also, a helper application. A helper application because you can basically change everything here, like the materials, the looks of the application. You can change everything. You can override the materials here so that it looks much better. But you still have the metadata. You can still go select something so that you can check the BIM information of that thing that you selected. Select that. It's not making me select anything. Topology, yes, but let's see. Maybe I can close and open it again. Just a sec. Let's see. Yeah, we are having the curse of the live demos here. It's okay though. It's okay. So as you can see, this additional element can help you get your native files into Unity in a fast manner. I'm going to show you lastly if this is going to work or not. From the Pixies, let's say import. It's doing the same thing, parsing error. So guys, today's session is going to end here. We are going to continue tomorrow at the same time, and tomorrow is going to be the last session. What we are going to do tomorrow is we are going to get our Revit model and put it on our headsets. So if you have a Quest 2, Quest 1, HTC Vive, doesn't matter what it is, I'm going to show you the way to put your architectural model onto your headset in Unity's XR Interaction Toolkit. So tomorrow we are going to learn about XR Interaction Toolkits. Thank you very much for coming today again, and I will see you tomorrow, guys. Take care.